The beginning of the school year with your new class is the ideal time to try out some new ideas and new ways to teach and learn. You're feeling rested and revitalised after the break, and your students are keen beans. Being adventurous and trying a new strategy models risk-taking and resilience to your students, especially if you let them in on the secret. Hey kids, I've never tried this particular strategy, learning task, exercise before, so let's see how it goes, and I'll be really interested to hear your feedback about what you think, how effective it's been, how interesting, how engaging. This is part of a series of videos to help teachers at the beginning of the year, how to start the year off right. And in this video, you'll learn valuable strategies for planning effective lessons that improve student engagement and student learning and reduce the likelihood that students will be bored or off task. The key to successful lessons is to consider how you will use teaching strategies as classroom management techniques and prevent off-task student behaviour as much as you possibly can. I'm Maria Amaro from The Highly Effective Teacher. I'm a teacher and I've been working with students and supporting teachers for over 30 years, and I'm passionate about helping teachers improve their teaching and learning practices. I combine research and experience to provide strategies that improve student learning by improving classroom management. And I focus on the practices that take little or no extra teaching time, the strategies that can actually give you back time because you'll be working more effectively. I emphasise teacher wellbeing because improved teacher wellbeing means improved student wellbeing, and that contributes to better academic and social outcomes for all our students. If you'd like to learn more about how to be a highly effective teacher, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell. We put out 2 videos per week, so make sure you don't miss any of that content. And when you subscribe, that helps to support us to keep us making the videos. If you know anyone you think would benefit from the information here, please share it with colleagues, teachers, friends and family. Everyone knows a teacher or someone who works in a school. Creating a positive classroom climate depends on your strategic and purposeful action. So check out our videos on how to create a positive classroom culture and why it's so important for student learning. Creating a safe space for students is paramount to effective teaching and learning. Series, beginning of the school year, your lessons. Number 1, get to know your students. Use part of your first lessons to get to know students and for them to get to know you and each other. Share something of yourself with your students at the beginning of the year. So some teachers use this opportunity to write their students a letter, telling them about their hobbies, what they did on the holidays, maybe something about their family, about what they love about school. The students can then be given time to write to you using a similar format. And this can be a simple way for you to assess their literacy skills, assess their interest in writing, their concentration level, and how they apply themselves to tasks. You could also give students a free writing, speaking or computer task and gauge student interest in your particular subject area. Playing games is also a really good way to get to know your students, and it's especially enjoyable if you all have a laugh and a bit of fun. They get to see you as a real person. The first step, of course, is to learn your students' names. As Dale Carnegie says, a person's name to them is the sweetest sound on earth. If you're someone who finds it difficult to remember names, search out some memory tricks or make a map of the classroom with the students' names there. Playing memory games with the students using names is also helpful. In high school, you have to remember so many names and often up to 150. So it's vital that if you're going to build positive relationships with your students, that you learn their names and use them. Students will work harder for a teacher that they think knows and cares about them. And the first step in that is knowing who they are. Number 2, help your students to get to know each other. You can do this by running things such as circle time, by holding class meetings, playing games, using student-centred learning opportunities such as peer tutoring and peer marking. And there's lots and lots of other things you can do to do that. In my book, Habits of Highly Effective Teachers, there are loads of ideas and strategies that you can use to help students to get to know each other as well. And if you have some great ideas, please let us know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you think. Also, check out our video or our couple of videos on the benefits of circle time and how to run circle time effectively in your classroom. It's a great way to build and maintain relationships with you and also between your students. Number 3, differentiate. It's the magic word, isn't it? Know what students know and how they learn best. So think about their learning styles and use the 4 categories given to us by Carol Tomlinson around how to differentiate, and that will help you guide how you differentiate your lessons. So first of all, think about the content. Decide what you're going to teach, at what level, what background knowledge the students already have, and what's relevant to them and how you can make the information relevant. The second category is process. How the student's going to access the curriculum and interact with the content. For example, what are you going to use? And a variety of things so kids can access the information in the way that suits them. So it may be books, maybe using the internet, it might be pictures, graphs, audio, visual cues, peer tutoring, adult resources, research, group work, cooperative learning. The third category is product. So how do students demonstrate what they've learnt, what they know, what they understand, and what they can do? For example, would it be written, spoken? Can they make a PowerPoint presentation? Can they write a song, do a poem, create some artwork? And then the fourth category is the environment. So creating a flexible, student-centred learning environment where students feel valued, safe, and able to take risks with their learning. If you'd like to learn more about differentiation, check out our videos on why differentiation is so important and some simple ways that you can differentiate without creating too much extra work for yourself. Because once you get into the habit of differentiation, you'll find that you do it naturally. There's just so many ways you can do that without taking too much extra time. Number 4, alternate passive and active learning strategies. I like to use the circle time structure in planning lessons. So what that involves, and that makes it really simple because it means that I'm using variety and I'm also thinking about what the students need. So first of all, having a check-in. In this, you can use an orientating question that will be done with a partner rather than the whole group. You can have a quick question that everyone checks in with. That means everyone will listen to each other. Something that brings them to thinking about whatever the topic is that you're going to do. Next is a mixer or an energizer. So a fun movement activity that has maybe some reference to the topic that you're going to do. Don't stress too much if it doesn't though, because the most important thing is that kids are laughing, having fun together, and they're moving. Movement gets their brain active, creates and provides oxygen to the brain. The next part of lesson plan is then the actual lesson content, question or inquiry. So in there would be the instruction that you give, which you will limit to 10 to 15 minutes maximum, then either a paired or a group activity, followed by students feeding back with what they have learnt. So how have they engaged with the material and what have they learnt, and then sharing it back to the whole group. Next, you would have another movement activity for the same reason, an energizer that gets kids laughing, that's moving, and that raises the energy level. That's why it's called an energizer. And then check out. So this gives you some formative assessment around what kids have actually learned. It could be a simple question about what they've learned. It might be an exit ticket that you're doing with the class. They have to answer this or write something down before they leave. May or may not be shared with the whole group. So if you use your lesson planning and use circle time to plan, that will naturally incorporate cooperative learning strategies such as small group instruction and paired tasks, remembering that you don't always have to teach the whole class. It may be only instruction to a small group who need it. The rest of the class may actually be able to go on with self-directed learning. Fantastic for you. So include some teaching strategies such as think, pair, share, have do now activities, provide movement breaks, limit the amount of time that you are talking, break lessons up into chunks that provide a mix of both doing some active things and then listening and processing. So provide opportunities for students to ask questions. Again, using peer tutoring is a great way, and give students opportunities to be the expert in the topic. Check out our videos on cooperative learning strategies. We've got a whole video on how to use think, pair, share effectively and how to use do now activities And we've got lots of videos on teaching strategies. What are the things that you can use? Some practical, easy to implement tips, take no extra time. Number 5, overplan. There are a number of ways that lessons can go, especially when you first begin teaching. It can be great. Perfect timing, perfect amount of work, perfect level of work, and every student was challenged and supported. Wow, way to go. Then, on the other hand, you could have the work's too hard, your instructions were unclear, the work was too easy and everyone whipped through it, it was boring and no one cared about it. Be prepared so that you can be flexible when this may happen for you. Being well prepared with additional activities for any number of contingencies, because some students may finish early while other students find it really difficult and can't get through it. So the beginning of the year is a good time to provide some really open-ended tasks so that you can get an idea and gauge where their levels are and what kind of work they are capable of doing. Check out our other videos on how to reduce teacher workload and how to provide some effective teaching and learning strategies that keep students engaged and improve their outcomes. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and happy teaching.